Alright, so to elaborate a little bit on favorite games and such there, this will be easiest actually going over here. Let's bring this up. Alright. Oh, I'm still on screen. Alright, yeah, I forgot we actually did this when we were doing our piano stream. I was learning some piano stuff on stream here. I can still be on screen. I guess that's fine. Hi. Here's the games that I give a 10 to. Let me get chat up over here too. Where the top 3 is Lisa? Well, it's not there. Lisa's not in the top 500, actually. But I've played worse games. Anyway, so highest rated games. Some of these were like just incredibly important at the time I played them. Final Fantasy VI was an amazing experience when I played it. It has so much emotional impact, amazing music. I don't think the gameplay lives up very strong today. The writing's actually not that strong today, honestly, either. I don't even say that it's a translation issue. There's some translation issues too, but the writing's a little weak at times, and there's some grindy gameplay that's not the best, but it still has some emotionally impactful, powerful moments in the story and some absolutely amazing music. I don't think if I played it fresh today, it would be anywhere near a 10 for me, but it was one of the most influential games, I guess you could say, that I played in my gaming history. I'd probably consider it more like an 8 or something today, something around there. Still quite solid. And Blackfire dropped in the appropriate link. I don't recommend buying FF6 on Steam because they completely and utterly butcher it, and it looks like complete garbage, and they did a really, really bad job of it. So don't buy FF6 on Steam if you're interested in playing it and if you've never played it before. So, Cave Story, likewise, is a pretty influential game for me. It very much helped me love platforming games, love indie games. I played this and Knit Stories and a variety of other freeware platformers back in the mid-2000s, and really kind of just fell in love with those indie PC games and stuff, and it was just such an awesome experience. Just a charming world with a lot of fun mechanics and just a great experience. Likewise with FF6, I don't think it lives up quite as well today. I think it's still good. I think it's still well worth playing today. But it has its flaws. Along with FF6, writing in Cave Story is honestly bad. Like it's not well written. And that's definitely not a translation thing. There's 2 different translations in the game. You can play the original fan translation or the official one. Both of them are bad in different ways just because the original writing just honestly wasn't very good. But it's still a really charming world. It's got some great music, some really good platformer gameplay, and just a really cool experience. So Portal, not a terribly surprising thing to show up on people's top games list. You can almost see like a pattern, right? Like somewhere around, I don't know when I played this, maybe 96 or something, Final Fantasy VI, and then like 2005 or something, then like 2008 or something for Portal. Like every several years, it's like there's some really important, influential title that was like, wow, this is what games can do. And like that's another thing that like Portal is. Just a very enjoyable gameplay, very amusing. It's a lot of fun, humor, and just a great little game that that doesn't overstay its welcome either. That's another thing that I care about a lot. I like Portal better than Portal 2, which is somewhat uncommon. To me, Portal 2 at points kind of dragged. It was like overly long, a little repetitive at points, and Portal 1 was just kind of streamlined. Portal 2 is still amazing. For the record, Portal 2 I still absolutely love, but so let's see. Total Annihilation, best real-time strategy game I've ever played, has this brilliant balance between strategy and tactics. So I really like that in between of the strategy and tactics. I actually found that a lot in like League of Legends too, back when I used to play that. that you've got the now plays that you're doing stuff that's just right now, what you got to do now. You, for example, in Total Annihilation, might be manually controlling like a bombing run with just a couple bombers to hit like key targets and make sure your bombers make it through their defenses enough to hit the important target. But then you have all the overarching grand strategy of your building up your whole economy and everything like that, and it just hits that nice balance where both of them are super important. A lot of real-time strategy games end up being a very heavy focus on just like the strategy and less so on the short-term tactical aspects, and I don't enjoy that as much. Total Annihilation also has some really cool economy aspects. Unlike a lot of real-time strategy games, you don't need to be able to afford something in total before you can start building it. It lets you start building whatever you want, and your money is just constantly drained. If you're trying to build like a bunch of stuff you can't afford, none of them are actually going to get finished, but you can do that if you want. So you can start building stuff like in advance and have to kind of plan around that. It gives you a lot more room to do some creative stuff there. And it also has an important aspect for the economy that the wrecks of your units that you're fighting with become metal scrap in the field, and you can recover that metal as resources to refuel and like keep building up new stuff there. So like controlling the actual like battlefield is actually really an important aspect of it and part of the economy, and it's pretty cool. And of course, it has a fantastic soundtrack as well. You see that as a recurring theme, right? Fantastic soundtrack, fantastic soundtrack, fantastic soundtrack. Played FTL, that game has a fantastic soundtrack. It's not essential. Like, I still rate Spelunky very highly, and I'm not very fond of the music there, but it certainly helps a lot. Then we got Undertale. So if you asked me like 2 years ago what my favorite game was, I would have just been like, well, here's the games that I rated 10, and like go over some of the reasons I just talked about there. But I wouldn't like have picked a single favorite game. But right now I could actually pick a single favorite game, and that game is Undertale. So I didn't expect to like Undertale. I don't like Earthbound. That's a very controversial opinion that I have. I never played Earthbound as a kid. Only played it as an adult like 5 years ago or something. And I really did not enjoy Earthbound much at all. And when Undertale first came out, everyone's like, hey Twitch, you gotta play Undertale. It's a lot like Earthbound. You should play Undertale. I'm like, but if it's like Earthbound, I don't want to play it. And but people kept insisting, like, Twitch, no, you gotta play Undertale. I even saw like a little bit of it played and was like, well, yeah, this kind of does look a lot like Earthbound. I don't see why I'd want to play this. But eventually my viewers finally convinced me. It's like, all right, we gotta play Undertale, and it was good. So it still took a long time to grow on me. Some people are sold right away, and that's cool. But I played through Undertale, and I liked it. My initial thoughts were about a 7.5 rating. It's like, yeah, this was good. This was well worth playing. I'm glad I played this. It was a lot better than I expected. Hey there, Got No Name. Welcome to the stream. But over time, I'm not going to elaborate too much. Because Undertale is a lot more prone to spoilers being impactful than a lot of games. So I won't elaborate too much on specifics, unfortunately, but the more of the game I played, I watched some other people play, and kind of just saw the attention to detail in the game, and it just blew me away. Like the number of little things in the game that the game accounts for. You can try to do some very weird things that normally, like, 98% of people would never ever try to do, and the game accounts for it anyway, and still reacts to your actions, and that's something I love in games more than almost any other thing, and Undertale actually does that better than any game that's ever existed, except maybe something like NetHack. So it does that extremely well. Um, there you go, Volvolex. There you go, Volvolex. So it just gradually grew more and more on me, and then I saw certain other things in the game that I hadn't seen initially, and it was an amazing experience. I'm dancing around my words, but I try not to say anything spoily, right? Um, but part of the reason I don't hesitate to recommend Undertale extremely highly, pretty much just to everyone that enjoys games in general, because, well, it's possible you'll have some of the same experience I had, right? It's possible you'll absolutely fall in love with it, and that's amazing. That would be great. But even if you don't, almost everyone that's played the game that I know of has at least enjoyed it, right? Like, they found it worth their time. So you don't need to set your expectations high enough that it'll be like, oh, this will be the best thing ever, and if it's not, I'll be disappointed. Just expect to enjoy it. It'll be a worthwhile experience. It's got great music, some very clever writing. It's just a fun experience. So that's the biggest reason I don't hesitate to recommend Undertale super highly. Yeah, I don't care about that return phase. A lot of that's just going to be host from Frag falling off anyway, so I'm not too concerned. Like, I definitely do stuff for the stream and try to do games that I think will be entertaining and stuff, but I don't let the viewer counts dictate what I do here by any means. Yes, yes it did, VG Games. So yeah, there's some notes on my favorite games there. Oh, and Danzel asked if you're streaming Undertale. So that's complicated. There's a couple ways to go about streaming Undertale. The easiest answer is just don't stream Undertale and just play it offline. Because it doesn't matter if you've got 5 viewers. People come in and tell you what to do constantly and spoil stuff that hasn't happened yet. And it's pretty stupid. But if you do want to stream Undertale anyway, you got a few options. You can get some mods that know the game really well and purge with wild abandon. You don't need to like time people out for a long time. Just do 1-second purges to hide their chat, so you can't see it. You could just stream it without looking at chat at all. I've seen people do that successfully, and that's a perfectly fine way to go about it too. Or failing all of those, you could kind of do what Frag did, and honestly, what kind of I did when I first streamed Undertale 2, because I didn't understand. Like we have a very lax stream here. We don't usually like care that much about backseating spoilers. It's not that big of a deal to me for most games, so I don't really worry about it. So there were a lot of people that were doing a lot of spoily stuff that was actually bothering me a little bit in this game, but if you're strong-willed enough to just be like, I'm gonna ignore what chat's telling me to do and completely make my own decisions, then that works fine too. Mostly the sort of spoilers people give won't be that big of a deal if you're willing to completely focus on doing what you want to do, choosing your own path, and ignoring what chat's trying to insist you do. Which is, it's really sad that so many people try to force people to play a certain way in Undertale, when a lot of its charm is how well it changes and adapts to what you decide to do. And if people don't force you to do something, then they may see something they've never seen before, because there's so many little somethings in it, but... Well, as I said, Ari, I don't feel like as I said at the time, I still stand by that opinion, Ari. If you really did not enjoy your playthrough of it, I don't think it's worth you playing more. I think it is, there's a lot more to uncover that's pretty powerful and pretty awesome. But I still think you kind of need to reasonably enjoy what you experienced, Ari, to for it to be worthwhile, right? It'll just be kind of annoying to go through some of the same stuff and etc. Yeah, that's true. I could give you my my blacklist of Undertale chatters. I've literally got a list of people that you could just auto ban because they've been too awfully spoily in Undertale streams. And I personally, if I have the availability and time, would potentially be willing to mod people's Undertale streams as well. Blackfire is only like once every 2 weeks, probably. But yeah, so that's some thoughts there. Yeah, crazy, exactly. Like, even looking back, like, I think I looked at some of the chat logs and, like, was like, judging even some of the chat regulars. I'm like, you shouldn't be saying what you're saying, chat regulars. But, it was okay. It worked out. I still, even without, even with the spoilery chat, I still definitely enjoyed my experience. Death, I haven't done a lot of mod stuff with Minecraft. I've done a little bit. I haven't really played Minecraft in many years, but it's something I might revisit at some point. And if I do, it would probably be fairly heavily modded at that point. You can hear the music, Crazy. FTL's still there. See, it's still there. But yeah, my pleasure, Typhel. We like doing little sidetrack discussions like this from time to time. Time to time meaning more often than almost any other stream, but that's okay. That's one of the things we do here. We like interesting discussions rather than always focusing on the gameplay, right? Gameplay's still important, but the rantings instead of the ratings. Ha. Not always. Like I generally try to do like. I try to be objective about it. It's like, alright, is this what I would have done anyway, without chat saying stuff? Like, that's a thing I've trained myself in quite a bit, in board games especially, right? It's like, oh, I now know my opponent is going to do this because they accidentally tried to play out of turn, or they accidentally showed me some cards in their hand, or something like that. It's like, alright, what would I have done without that information? I like, have adapted to try to learn that stuff. FTL's still here in Fraternity. We'll be back to it soon enough. I did play Factorio. Factorio was really good. I like Factorio quite a bit. Lisa, I did not enjoy at all. I like how the levels of lies there in VJ games. Like those lies just work in multiple levels. It's pretty impressive. But other like super influential games like Ultima Online, like it's terrible today. If it even still is going today, I don't even know at this point. But man, that was quite an experience back in 97, 98. Talking about games that don't live up that well today. Star Control 2 does live up well today, and I do recommend that. So that's free and awesome. There's FTL. That actually took me a while to like raise my rating that high. Like, FTL's amazing. I've got like getting close to 1,000 hours in FTL. There's still just some of the core stuff. The fact that there's several options in the game, several pieces of equipment that are completely worthless, and that sort of stuff does bother me. And it just wasn't as an impactful experience as a few other games. It's still very, very highly rated. Oh, man. But yeah, hopefully that answers everyone. Triple Triad is on my list, Slug. I think I rate that like an 8 or something. What do we got? Oh, that's rated in my board games. Sorry, that's not rated in my video games. That's rated in my board games. But yeah, Factorio, there we go. That could even raise. I don't know how much I'll enjoy like replaying Factorio, but so the biggest thing that like truly impressed me about Factorio was that it has so many little quality of life features. It's very pleasurable just to play the game. There's not a bunch of little interface roadblocks constantly slowing you down and making the experience tedious. And tedious. That's the word. That's the word. Hey, Jake Peter. Yes. If you want to see the full list and browse on your own, there it is linked in chat. But there, this is my ratings. Yep. But Factorio just has all this little stuff. Like you can split stacks of ingredients trivially by right-clicking. You can like shift or control click on buildings to like automatically like loot them and fill them. And there's just so many little features. You can make blueprints to copy sections of buildings and like just reconstruct them easily, and that's really really nice when you're playing like a sim game. It's just very very nice to play. It doesn't have a bunch of stuff getting in your way. I had that problem with like Kerbal Space Program. Just has a big focus on being a simulation first and a game second. So there's a bunch of stuff that's not intuitive, that just is like, why is it this way? This doesn't make any sense. This is not, like, I'm doing these extra steps for no reason, and it's like, that makes it a lot less fun to play. Hey, Side of the Wiz! Welcome to the stream. I've not played Civ 6, no. Civ 6 definitely does some stuff that sounds pretty awesome to me as far as, like, improvements on Civ 5 goes. But it's disappointing that the AI in Civ 6 is still complete and utter hot garbage. So that's, you know, disappointing. But, if you want to see Lisa, we gotta go down. So this only shows the top 300. I think it's probably not in the top 600. Let's see what we got here. There we go, Lisa. Lisa, right next to Earthbound. Chrono Cross. Oh, beats out Chrono Cross, though. There you go. Beats out Chrono Cross. Next to Earthbound. I still found some value in Earthbound, some value in Lisa, but they were not enjoyable experience. Hey, Happy P. I haven't played Sunless Sea, Happy P. I have played Fallen London, the browser-based game that Sunless Sea is based on. I almost want to put "played" in quotes because it's one of those kind of like the Facebooky games like Farmville, that sort of things where there's a like energy sort of meter that you use up each day and you could buy more if you want. So it's one of those kind of games. Fallen London had some interesting writing in it. Yeah, I could just go to this on the screen right there. Some kind of interesting writing and some kind of fun, like, collectible almost aspect, because there's just all these weird attributes you get in the game. I can't really, like, remember it offhand, but, like, you might have, like, this is probably not one that exists, but, like, maybe you gain, like, +1 Dapper. Like, you now have a Dapper attribute or something like that. And that was kind of neat, but it was super grinding after and all that garbage. Sunless Sea certainly seems like better, right? Because it's a full published game rather than trying to nickel and dime people out of, constantly buying the ability to play the game. But I don't think it would be particularly great. But I don't expect it to be awful, if that makes sense. I think it, if you look forward to kind of reading a novel worth of, even a couple short novels worth of text in a game, I think it's got 150, 200,000 words in it or something like that. Exactly, Peripheral. Then it might be worth looking into. I still think Sunless Sea would be kind of a fun one to stream once or twice because it would just be fun to narrate. We definitely have a good time narrating stuff and it's doing like voice-acted playthroughs of games. We've done a lot of voice-acted playthroughs that are starting to get up on YouTube gradually here. Currently putting Chrono Trigger up right now. But as far as like actual gameplay goes or long-term replayability, I think Sunless Sea is probably pretty lacking. I will also note that you probably don't want to play with permadeath on in Sunless Sea. My understanding is that that just makes it a irrelevantly worse game. Like it is not, the game is not well designed around the permadeath aspects. So it's best to just play it without that. Because, like, it's basically permadeath in the sense that, like, hey, you're making a lot of interesting decisions here and there, and now we've got this coin flip, and you lost the coin flip, so you're dead forever. So that's somewhat appropriate to the like oppressive and Cthulhu kind of theme they got going on, but it's not good gameplay. So that's not fun stuff there. Triple Triad's better than Tetramaster, Tom All Thumbs. I'm not really going to go into detail, partially because I haven't played like either recently enough to have strong opinions there, but... And yeah, Jake Peter, so Earthbound had a lot of issues. We can talk about them again. We should probably just let people watch the highlight linked up in chat if they want to see what I thought about Earthbound. In short, it's ridiculously grindy. Has one of the worst inventory systems in any game. I don't think the music is very good, honestly. You can compare it to like any other SNES RPG, and those ones all have better music. There's still a few songs that I think are good. Most of them are later in the game. I think the story is mostly pretty weak. It's pretty repetitive. You kind of go into new towns constantly just doing the same thing over and over again. I didn't really enjoy the humor in it at all. It's something that definitely could have struck me a lot better as a kid. In fact, I'll say confidently that I would have enjoyed Earthbound a lot more if I had played it as a kid, right? That I can just say confidently. But on the plus side, I think it does actually have a pretty strong ending. Like, it ends a lot stronger than most games do. So that's definitely a plus, and can help leave people with a solid like memory of it, right? Because that's kind of the last part of it. You got the ending that actually ends really, really well and kind of impactfully, and has some neat stuff that it does there. And specific to my experience here, I originally played about 5 hours of it, got fed up with it, had it rated about a 4. Eventually, after playing Undertale, I like watched someone else play through it. Slackaholicis and another person play through Earthbound, and kind of see if I was missing anything, right? And I was a little bit, I would say. Like I said, I raised my rating up from a 4 to a 4.5, primarily because the ending is just is good. It wasn't like, oh wow, this pulls everything together and it's all great now, but it was like, yeah, you know, I can definitely see more like what some people liked about it, especially if they played it as a kid. There's a lot of like it's a very nostalgic game just in itself. But yeah, if you want more elaborate thoughts on that, you can check my ratings comment or see the video highlight that is linked up with the Earthbound command there. Let's see, what else? I haven't played the new Strider at all, no. Punch-Out!, like, some games get like a little bit of a bad rating, somewhat unfairly. Like, it's complicated, right? Like, you can only do so much with your ratings, but like, there's kind of games that I considered and played and have thoughts of before I ever started rating things and afterwards, and then like some games kind of get caught in the crossfire there, where like played Punch-Out!, I don't know, mostly just like 10 years ago or something like that, and just found it kind of tedious and not very fun. But maybe if I was judging it more on when I played as a kid or something like that, would be rated higher. So it is complicated, and you do kind of the best of it you can, and take in a lot of factors for ratings, but do the best you can. I haven't played Abzu Glowing Eddy. Hey, there's Scotty the dog. Welcome. So that's actually an interesting thing, Danzel, about Super Mario Bros. 2 controls being garbage. They aren't as bad as I thought they were. So much super stuff, that's terrible. So, like, I should probably just rate this a little higher, because the controls are not good. But, like, Mario 1 controls aren't that good either. But, so for whatever reason, like, I was playing Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 3, like, I think we ended up racing all of those with a couple of friends of mine. I don't know, 5 years ago, something like that. And for whatever reason, I ended up really enjoying Super Mario 1 and 3. It's like, yeah, these still level up. I liked playing these. But Super Mario 2, like, felt like this sluggish mess that I hated the controls of. But, like, I opened it up recently, like a year ago, and Super Mario 2 really doesn't control particularly worse than Mario 1. Both of them are pretty stiff and not, like, great, but not terrible. So, like, whatever mood I was in, or whatever affected my feelings of the game at the time I played it, made me judge it a little bit unfairly. I don't have Putt-Putt. Like, I don't know. What am I supposed to rate Putt-Putt, Jake Peter? Am I supposed to rate it on a, like, speedrun perspective? Am I supposed to rate it on how good I think it is for kids? Am I supposed to rate it on how good I think it is as a game if I were playing it myself? Because then it gets, like, a 4 or something. But, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to rate Putt-Putt, so I don't. Like, it doesn't really make sense for me to rate it. Hey, Andy Warhol. Yes, I was one of the very few Core standouts, man. Like, because Arm's better than Core is in Total Annihilation in almost all cases. Core is better on the pass, that map, and they're kind of okay with some of their sea and plane stuff, sorta. But mostly they're just worse than Arm. Like, Arm's the better class than Core is in Total Annihilation. But I was still just, like, stubborn. It's like, nah, I'm sticking with Core. Like, straight up 95% of other players were playing Arm because it's better. But, like, nah, I'm still gonna play with Core. I have not played this War of Mine. I kind of expect to be somewhat unimpressed by it. I've seen a little bit of it played. But I know people do want me to play that on stream. There's definitely been some votes that want me to play it on stream. So it's something I'll consider trying out on stream at some point. Greetings, Aroma. Yeah, the worst of the grind is early IQ Unlimited, but it's still really grindy every single time you get a new character in Earthbound IQ. Every time you get a new character in Earthbound, they start at level 1, you refight some of the same mobs you did at the beginning of the game, and you level them up slowly to get back up on parity with your other characters, and it's just tedious as all hell. I haven't played Doom Roguelike yet, no. I'm not gonna play Halloween Hack Blackfire. I'm not gonna play Toby Fox's bad Earthbound hack with curses. Hey Armand, I mostly haven't shaved my beard, so I can't really say how long it takes to grow this long, but probably something like 9 months to a year, maybe? I don't know. Guns of Icarus, that's probably on page 2. Well, this is Guns of Icarus, the original. Guns of Icarus Online's a lot better. Guns of Icarus was basically just a prototype, which they unfortunately, it's somewhat like, it rubs me a little bit the wrong way that they did it as a. Do I not have it rated? Or did I have it as a 7? Maybe I have it as a 7. Or a 6.5. Maybe I just don't have it rated. Alright, it looks like I don't have it rated. But, what would I rate that? I have to think about that a little bit. Probably about there, either 7 or 6.5. It was, you know, enjoyable little multiplayer experience that I didn't think was, like, amazing, but yeah, it was fun. It was worth playing. Yeah, Inveterable. I mean, I haven't, like, re-experienced Chrono Cross anytime recently. So, that's a... Like, I didn't especially enjoy the game when I was playing it, even when I was pretty young, for Chrono Cross. and there's just certain like aspects of the story that are really, really dumb and kind of make me bitter about the game. And there's just a huge focus on a wealth of like completely shallow characters with no depth. And I'm mostly not giving it credit for its music. I think I'd rate it like a 3.5 if I wasn't judging music at all. I should probably give it like some credit for the music, but that doesn't like make the game, playing the game, that much more enjoyable. I didn't really enjoy the mechanics in it that much either. But again, I haven't really re-experienced it to have like a fully modern take on Chrono Cross. I did do that with Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy IX, so those I do have a more nuanced opinion of. Chrono Cross, my opinion of, is like, I'm pretty confident I think it's bad and has great music, right? I know it has great music, and I know that it's got a lot of problems with its story that aren't very strong. But I don't have nuance to point out like I can do with Final Fantasy VIII. I can point out aspects of the story that are specifically stupid and specifically make the game bad. I can't do that with Chrono Cross. I have not experienced it recently enough to have that kind of nuance. Hey there, Dr. Gray. Yeah, Super Mario Bros. 2 was a reskin of Doki Doki Panic. I've played Dark Souls 1 and 2, Rose. So, Sark Souls. There's a Dark Soul. I got a lot of dark things rated at 8. There's Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. At 8 and 7 respectively. That is a good question about the Halo music, Typhel. I haven't really taken a good listening to the Halo music. I think the like main Halo theme is pretty awesome. Like that's a really, really strong theme. Like I can like hear it played in my head a little bit now. It's like just this very energetic, like kind of majestic theme that builds up very nicely. But I mostly just haven't like taken a good listen to Halo music in like a vacuum to really have an opinion on that. I mean, honestly, Ari, I expect my opinion of this War of Mine to be in between those. That's what I expect. My expectation of this War of Mine is something that I rate about a 6. It's like, yeah, it's kind of got some neat stuff going on, but didn't really sell me that hard. But it could easily be a little bit higher, a little bit lower. Is it Oxa? Probably Typhel. You can blame Typhel. It's all Typhel's fault that we've been chatting about games for like an hour instead of playing FTL. It's fine. I'm happy to go off on sidetracks, or I wouldn't do them. That's what we do. That's fair, Peripheral. So yeah, Half-Life 2 is another one that I only played like in modern times. I actually streamed that one, and it's just got a lot of problems. And I mean, it also doesn't help that like I'm not that fond of like first-person shooter kind of mechanics as a baseline. I guess that would probably be a like default slight negative in a game. So like just gameplay-wise, I wasn't that enthusiastic about Half-Life or Half-Life 2. And there's just pretty major pacing. Like I've heard people say like Valve's the master of pacing and point to Half-Life 2, and I disagree strongly. Like there's major pacing problems in Half-Life 2 where it gets to be a bit of a odd little tech demo sort of thing, where it's like, and here's this long super section where you're driving a car around, and then here's this long section with a boat, and it just yeah. They do some clever things with pacing subtly as far as how they deliver health ups and stuff like that. There's definitely some neat stuff behind the screens of how they handle pacing in that fashion, but not familiar with Rush music, Dan. Yeah, I'm not playing Long War, Ari. Not playing Long War. That's just never happening. XCOM was already solidly too long for my taste. I have not played Dark Souls 3 ZZT. blame Typhel. There you go. They might be Yep. That's like. Okay. Oh god, Blackfire, that's such a terrible idea. I have not played Shattered Planet, no. Greetings, Kitty's Hat. I don't even remember that one, IQ Unlimited. That makes me think of more of the Bed of Chaos in Dark Souls 1. The Ancient Dragon in Dark Souls 2 is a pile of hot garbage and utterly terrible boss design. But yeah, I don't remember. Like 2.5 years ago, I don't remember most of the bosses in the game to really have any specific thoughts now. This is what I thought at the time I wrote the comment, though. Medusa Snake Lady. Let's see. That makes me think of the burrowing kind of snaky lady. Was that a Medusa Snake Lady? The one that, like, burrowed under the ground? Yeah, these are my ratings, Kenny. Yeah, Mithra, the Baneful Queen. Man, my nose is getting all itchy here. So that's, oh, the one carrying her head around. Okay, yeah, in that big poisony area. The Earthen Peak. I don't remember having a problem with that boss being, like stupid or frustrating or anything. So I don't know on that. Kitty's Hat. Trying to set off another rant about Isaac and how it's full of lies and how it's still mostly a good game, but it's full of lies and it could so easily be a better game. And why is it a better game? They're too focused on pushing out DLC instead of fixing the game in the first place. There's problems that have been there since the original Binding of Isaac. They're still there now in Binding of Isaac Rebirth, even after an expansion. Why haven't they fixed any of this stuff? But it's still a pretty good game, but why isn't it better? Okay, there's Binding of Isaac. I do rate the DLC separately, Slug. But anyway, yeah. Hopefully that was some interesting discussion and stuff for people. I also do not like the aesthetic of Binding of Isaac Xenon. It doesn't impact the game too much for my enjoyment of it, but I do wish it had a different aesthetic as well. Yeah, I mean, would I stop